Direct News TV. July 17, 2023. As Russia exits grain deal, which countries will be affected? Russia has said it will not extend an international deal to allow the safe shipment of Ukrainian grain through its ports in the Black Sea. The accord, which is set to expire on Monday evening, has been credited with helping curb food prices around the world in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year. The two countries are two of the world's largest agricultural producers. Almost 33 million metric tons of grain were exported since the Black Sea Grain Initiative was brokered by the United Nations and Turkey a year ago. The Kremlin said on Monday that Russia would return to the deal immediately if its demands to improve its own grain and fertilizer exports are met. What is the Black Sea Grain Initiative? The Russian invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 sent the world into a global food crisis amid soaring inflation. Prior to the war, in 2021, Russia and Ukraine were the world's first and fifth largest exporters of wheat respectively, according to the Observatory of Economic Complexity. In July 2022, the UN and Turkey arranged a deal that would see Ukraine export grain through the Black Sea. The agreement would allow ships to travel safely from the Ukrainian ports of Yuzhny, Odessa and Chornomorsk to the Bosporus without being attacked. With it came a separate agreement to facilitate shipments of Russian food and fertilizer. Russia has long complained that parts of the deal relating to these exports have not been implemented. On October 31, Russia temporarily pulled out of the agreement, citing drone attacks on its Black Sea fleet in Sevastopol. Shortly afterwards, Moscow rejoined the pact for a further 120 days on November 2. In March 2023, it agreed to extend its participation in the deal for another 60 days, a commitment it renewed in May. How much grain has been transported? Since the deal was struck, UN data show that about 32.9 million metric tons of grain have left the Black Sea. The majority of grain has been corn and wheat. They accounted for 16.9 million tons and 8.91 million tons, respectively. Ukraine is often referred to as the breadbasket of Europe, with more than 55% of its land being arable. Post-invasion, it was the 8th largest producer of corn and the 9th largest producer of wheat in the 2022 to 2023 period. Other food commodities exported over the same period included sunflower meal, 1,857,917 tons, sunflower oil, 1,650,092 tons, barley, 1,268,298 tons, and rapeseed, 1,859 tons. Where have exports gone? According to the UN, 45 countries across 3 continents have received food commodities under the deal. The average size of shipments leaving the Black Sea is about 32,450 tons. The highest tonnage to date has been exported to China, 7.96 million tons, or almost 25% of the total, followed by Spain, 5.98 million tons, Turkey, 3.24 million, Italy, 2.1 million, the Netherlands, 1.96 million, and Egypt, 1.55 million. The UN says the deal has helped reverse spiking food prices by more than 20%, but Russia says food supplies transported via the grain corridor are not reaching the world's poorest countries. Nearly 44% of the exports have been shipped to what the UN calls high-income countries. Where is grain needed the most? According to the World Food Programme, WFP, pre-war Ukraine produced enough food to feed 400 million people per year. In 2021, almost 2/3 of the UN Food Agency's overall grain procurement came from Ukraine. The UN says the deal allowed the WFP to transport more than 725,000 tons of wheat to help people in need in countries hit by wars and extreme weather events. Ethiopia received more than a third of that, 262,759 tons, with more than 20% going to Yemen, 151,000, and 18% to Afghanistan, 130,869. In 2022, in monetary terms, Ukraine provided the third highest amount of the total food procured for the WFP and the most metric tons, at 643,189. Nandita, humanitarian policy and advocacy lead at Save the Children, said the deal had enabled the stabilization of global markets and the lowering of food prices in many parts of the world. What is likely to happen now is that those food prices will go up again, she told Al Jazeera from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. With that, countries will no longer be able to supply food to children and their families will no longer be able to access food and will see an increase in malnutrition and food insecurity. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.